Today's podcast is sponsored by Field Agent Canada. If I'm online trying to figure out what to buy, I really like the products that I'm looking at to not only have a good number of reviews to help me make my decision, but I really wish they would be current.
Listen, it's really hard to do that. As a marketer that has worked with a bunch of brands, we're always asking for people to leave reviews, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Then they should be using Field Agent to get reviews on those items. It's inexpensive, it's fast, and Field Agent can do all the work to make sure your online items have enough reviews, and then new reviews will be added each month.
Can Field Agent reviews be placed on items on my brand website as well as with the retailer?
Come on, Phil. Of course they can. You know they can. You just need to supply a list of products and where you want the reviews to be posted. Jeff and his team take care of the rest and get those reviews up and running.
I have to say, the guys at Field Agent, they do love working with companies of all sizes, big and small. So you're going to get great service. And then, if you need 100 reviews or you need 1,000 reviews, 10,000 reviews, these guys can manage that. If you need online reviews, you need Field Agent.
www.fieldagentcanada.com. Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. The good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story.
Kelowna in BC?
No, I'm in Vancouver. I'm in East Vancouver.
Right, okay. I used to go to UBC.
Oh, okay. I did that a long time ago.
Oh, me too. It was a long time ago. Oh, yeah. It was like I was 92.
I was 89.
89. So just a couple of years. What'd you take?
I got a BCom with marketing as the major.
Nice.
I was at 1989. I graduated a long time ago. Jesus.
Right.
Hello. Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Phil. Nice to see you again.
Oh, you too. How are you?
I'm good. So much has happened even since we chatted. It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like forever ago. I guess it was, right? Because it was really December. So beginning of December?
Oh, was it December? Okay, November, December. Yeah, it was just a couple of months ago, but it feels like a year. So much has been going on.
Like a long...
Yeah. How's it going out in BC? Are you in BC too?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
It's with you.
Kenny's in BC. I'm in Mississauga. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're cross Canada. That's awesome.
We are.
We're nationwide, baby. Nationwide.
Yeah. Well, we're
almost.
Yeah, almost
nationwide. Well, we are. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
More or less, and it's
yeah. Well, it's funny because it says on your thing Daisy Cafe. So he goes, "Oh, I met her at the scene. You're going to be excited." You didn't tell me it was like buttermilk biscuits. Like you didn't get into that detail.
Really?
No. But I don't remember. As soon as you said that,
tell you, Kenny.
All night I tried the buttermilk biscuits.
I'm thinking, no kidding, Phil liked you because I'm thinking, well, buttermilk biscuits. Yeah, no shit, right? I mean, I'd be all over that too. Like, I love buttermilk.
Rocking. I don't think. I think that when we got there, they just kind of unceremoniously laid them all out, right, Don? Like, I don't think they really did it that much justice, and it was still like.
Yeah, I ended up going, okay, not enough people know that they're here. So I just started putting them on the board and I started working the event. You got to try this.
Yeah.
It's guerrilla marketing. You got to do it, right?
Yeah, you got to do it.
Listen, you're there, they're there. If nobody's going to find them, they need to find the people. Like that's how you do it.
And truthfully, once people eat them, and how am I going to get you out some biscuits in Vancouver, Kenny? How am I going to do this? But once you eat it, as my tagline is, easy to make, hard to resist.
So if you give them to me, I'll make sure they make it.
He's
Nice.
such a liar. There's not a hope I'll see these things. Zero chance. The only way I can do it, Dawn, is that when I come to Toronto a couple times a year and I stay with him, right, at his place. So I'll probably let you know then, because at least then I've got odds before him, Kathy, or the girls get into it.
Okay, I'll come and visit me at that cafe. We'll have brunch, and
you know what? I'll do that, because at least I know I'll get some.
So I will. My friend, my sister-in-law is out in Caledon East, and she's got some friends. She's like, "Oh, can Dawn get us some biscuits?" So I will give the biscuits for the friends who are asking, and give them to my sister-in-law. And the friends go, "Hey, did you give them to Stephanie?" And I'm like, "Yeah, didn't you get them?" And it's like, "Nope, Stephanie ate them all."
Nope, that's the problem.
Not at all.
You can't have a middle person. You just can't.
No, who shares? I know if you get them to him, I ain't seen them.
Well,
and it might not even be him. It'll be the girls getting into him.
Yeah.
His daughters will get into him. It's not even him I worry about.
I don't blame you, buddy. I don't blame you.
There's no odds, man.
He's got some amazing biscuits too. Like, I just had a regular one, but like on the list, Kenny, jalapeno and cheese.
Yes, I love savory.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we serve that, the jalapeno and 3 cheese. We serve that with like fried chicken, honey butter, grandma's homemade bread and butter pickles, and with melted like jalapeno white cheddar. It's just.
So where are you?
Coxwell and Gerrard. So Little India.
Is that close to you, Phil?
East side.
No,
that's not like around the corner thing.
Not around the corner, but worth the drive. Kenny's like this local hermit. So he's kind of like someone who lives in Bloor West Village and never leaves Bloor West Village. Like, you know how you meet people who either live in Baby Village, Leslieville, and then they
I'd be like a Leslieville. I know that one.
You know, they cross like a couple of blocks and they're like, this is so far from home. And, that's Kenny. So
too far.
Me, I'll go anywhere for food in particular. So,
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. For the audience, we have Dawn Chapman on, and she runs Lazy Daisy's Café. And I met her at Made in Ontario's award event in December. I think, Ontario Made or Made in Ontario. So, we didn't like it kind of like, I didn't even know that Dawn was there. I know that she won an award, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, she's got some buttermilk biscuits here. And I was like, where biscuits. And then, I think Dawn found me with a biscuit half stuffed in my mouth is actually, I think, how it works. So.
It's my favorite way to find people.
Why not? As they're talking to you and spitting out biscuits.
Oh
my God, they're eating.
That's exactly.
Love it.
Yeah.
I actually, when I do tastings, I absolutely love watching people have that first bite of biscuit and just see the joy and the surprise in their eyes and on their face. Like, are you kidding me right now? And I'm like, yes, that is, to me, just, it fills my cup. So that's awesome. I'm really glad you like it.
So do you mind? So we're an unscripted podcast, but what we would love is if you told us a little bit about you, kind of the next 45 minutes is all yours. So you kind of take us where you want to go, but we'd love to kind of hear a little bit about the journey, how you wind up turning this thing into a cafe and then like selling this stuff everywhere. If there are moments where I avert my eyes, it's because I'm on your website and I'm getting distracted, but I'm listening, I swear.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So going back to, I was always in food service, like trying to make money for school. So my first job was Venezia Pizza, then I was McDonald's and Red Lobster. And on the West Coast, I was actually at the Red Robin. Kenny, you might know that one, Red Robin restaurant.
Yeah.
And then when I was after university, I went to England and I was making like jack shit all, no money at all. And I remember I was teaching English, and I remember my boyfriend at the time looking in the cupboard, and there was a can of Heinz beans. And he goes, "Is that your can of beans or my can of beans?" And I was like, oh my God, my life has to change right now. Right now. And there's this really cool market in London called Camden. Don't know if you guys have been there, Camden Market.
Camden Market.
And this was in the 90s, and it was sort of filled with American tourists. But for the foods and the eats, it was all like, it was noodly, couple of crepes, but no sandwiches, no like American fare. So I was like, you know what Americans like? Bagels. And I'd seen one pop up, and I was like, okay, I think I'm going to open a bagel store. And it just so happened the owners of the market at the time were Israeli. And so I went to see, and there was this guy, Bebo, who owned the market, and they were like, okay, yeah, a little Canadian English teacher is going to open a bagel shop. But yeah, you just try it. So I tried it, and it was bootstrapped. I had like 120 pounds to my name. I had friends do photography for me. I went and I talked to, I was like, okay, research. This was when there was Yellow Pages. There was like, I had no one, I wasn't researching on the internet. Where do I get my bagels? Where do I get my smoked salmon? Right. I had to call people. I visited this guy, Sammy, on Brick Lane. Have you guys heard of Brick Lane Bagels?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sammy was awesome. Okay. And he gave me smoked salmon contact. It made me recognize that the people in the food business, you can share your knowledge and build each other up, that the pie is infinite, and your pie can be as big as you want, right? Like you can share. And his generosity in sharing his experience and his contacts like really stuck with me. And I try to live by that as I move forward as an entrepreneur, especially as a woman entrepreneur, supporting others. I really, really admire that. So I opened a couple of bagel shops. I thought I'd sell 20 the first day. We ended up selling 200. I opened a second one. Yeah. The first day.
You were ready for that?
No, I had to run to the grocery store.
I'm sure you didn't anticipate 200.
Like I had to run to the grocery store and buy. Shit. Yeah, it was crazy.
I bet.
I was so happy because suddenly I could like go to the pub and buy the round. I wasn't scrounging. And so I left that boyfriend, and I ended up opening a few bagel shops. And when I met my husband over there in about 2003, I sold and came back home to Canada. Had a couple of Sprogs. And in my neighborhood in the East End, we were having an empty storefront issue, like very abandoned. Lots of people had migrated out of the neighborhood. So there was a lot of empty storefronts. And I knew there were people in the neighborhood like me who needed a cafe, who wanted a place to go with their kids. And it wasn't a Starbucks, wasn't a big chain. So I was like, okay. I started to create a vision. And when I was a kid, I grew up in the summers on my grandparents' farm in Midhurst, Ontario. And they had a cow on the farm. They had a couple of cows, but the biggest and the sort of mama cow was Daisy. Right? So Daisy was there. I used to spend all my time. My grandma liked to bake, and I would milk the cows in the morning with my Uncle Howard. And then I would go to the kitchen and with my grandma, and we'd strain the milk, and then we'd bake, and people would pop over. And we just had such this, it was a kitchen full of love. Being in nature was just something that I carry with me, like that love of land and being in the outdoors and the love I felt on that farm. And I was like, man, I want to bring that. I want to create something that embodies that warmth and that love and that nature, right? So, yeah, so I saw an empty storefront, and I was like, let's go for it. And I started to base everything around the farm. And so everything had to be natural, locally sourced, handmade, community. Those are the 4 pillars that we've built Lazy Daisies on. And to be honest, I didn't expect that maybe we'd have a 3-year run. I kind of thought like I'd be sitting on the back table writing a novel, getting up occasionally to pour a friend a cup of coffee. Right. And, here we are 14 years later. But, I'm just, my mind is blown at how it all went down.
14 years.
14 years.
That was a good run.
Yeah, that's a really great run.
Yeah.
It's a tough industry. Like, so, I mean, that's really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we'd make it past 3 years. Once I hit 3 years, it was like, how can I keep going without actually making any money for myself?
Right.
I was working I wore all the hats. I made those mistakes of like wearing all the hats, imagining that I couldn't afford a manager, but I couldn't afford not to have a manager.
Right.
That's the difference, right? Because while I was making the espresso and the sandwiches, I couldn't ideate, growth.
No.
Right. So the best thing I ever did was get a manager, which was the big game changer for me. And I was like, and I had to strip it down. And like coming from England, we were doing Sunday lunch type stuff, and we had more meat on the menu. And then I was like, I had a big moment where I drove through one of our most popular QSR restaurants. And I had a breakfast sandwich, and I said, this is not as.
And you said, bleh.
Yeah,
I don't know what a QSR is.
I'm just filling in the blank. That's all.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you.
Yeah.
So the question is always, I think for lots of entrepreneurs, how do we make this better? So you get a free run egg. First, you get a happy chicken making a happy egg. You get Mennonite smoked bacon without nitrates and chemicals. You do that. So it's locally sourced. You get some aged white cheddar from Bright's because it's the real deal. You got flavor, some kick-ass flavor. And then what's the vehicle though? So I ended up meeting this baker and I went, I want a buttermilk biscuit. And her and I worked on it, and we came up with this beautiful buttermilk biscuit. And I remember the first few months we were selling, like, if I was happy if we sold 6 a day. And now we're selling like 600 over a weekend. We're like, our breakfast sandwiches, the Rise and Shine family are like our raison d'etre. They're like a deal, and they are delicious. And yeah, that's kind of the foundation of the cafe in terms of our menu, the breakfast sandwiches. But going back historically, it's that love and the joy of the farm.
Right. So where are you located? You guys are gonna have to help me. Don't say like
she's
East
the
End.
Danforth. The easiest way to think about her is she's like east of the Danforth. So like for DVP and and Bloor, but
okay,
way over.
And the beaches go north from Lakeshore up Coxwell, like about like a 10-minute walk. So we're kind of like east Leslieville, Upper Beach, Little India.
Okay. I know roughly where you are. I don't know the hood, but I know roughly where
we'll get to Leslieville and you'll start complaining. So there's 10 minutes more of complaining before we get to Don's.
No, I like Leslieville because I have a friend who lives down there.
That's what I'm saying. So, but I'm going to stop and I'm going to go drive past Leslieville, and you'll go, how much farther is it?
How far are we going to be there?
So another 10 minutes of complaining, then we'll be at Don's place. So, yeah.
Not that he uses around the corner a lot when I'm there. That's why Don. And around the corner to me in Vancouver, like East Van, around the corner is around the corner.
Yeah.
Around the corner with him, we're driving and thinking, buddy, like how big's this corner?
Because that's a Toronto term. Around the corner is 2K, 2.5K away.
Right? Still probably Niagara Falls is around the corner.
That's right. You gotta get the phone tried. Like it's a big corner.
It's just a little drive.
I feel you have little corners. Like
I don't like your guys' wording and terminology because it pisses me off. Because around the corner means 20 minutes later I shouldn't be driving still. That's well beyond around the corner.
So your breakfast menu is distracting. Like seriously.
Do you have one location or do you have multiple locations?
So, this was always the great debate. Once we knew that we had, so this cafe, people like it. People come from all over to go to this cafe. And you know what? I've had some serious burnout running a cafe. And I'm like, do I want to open more? And the entrepreneur in me is like, yes, more, keep growing. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that I can't clone myself is quite hindering when it comes to opening more locations.
We're not there yet. The technology isn't there yet.
No, which is so. I'm like, let's be serious. Do I have the bandwidth to open more on my own? Because I really do this. And plus being a mom, I've got two teens. Like what, and will that, and always the question that I think we forget is, will this make me happy?
I
Right?
think it's the number one question.
Number one, the thing is like, and I remember a guy said this to me once, he goes, when you're doing what you do, you got to wake up and say, I feel happy. I'm happy, happy. So the answer, truth be told, was I was like, you know what? No, that wouldn't make me happy. But you know what we've got that people love? Buttermilk biscuits. And we were winning awards. Like we've been in Toronto Star, blah. I don't mean to toot the horn here, but
go ahead. You might as well. Why not?
Toot away. Okay, so like
toot away.
Best brunch lists, like now Toronto, like Toronto Life, Toronto Star, Blog TO, like all across like different internet, fantastic people on the influencer side who have been to our cafe and written about us, and really promoted our biscuits, our breakfast, our brunch, and our vibe. The vibe was really important. And then during COVID hit, right? So COVID was an absolute punch in the face, of course, for everybody. And I'm reluctant to say the word pivot, because aren't we all really sick of the word pivot still? Or do we get PST? And the word, the C word.
A few words that if we never hear again, we're all good.
Yep. So what we did then, people were coming in going, Don, we can't come in all the time, but we really want your biscuits. How can we get your biscuits at home? So I'm like, ping, 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 ideas, excitement. Okay, let's make a frozen bake-at-home buttermilk biscuit that people can just pop in the oven and have it hot out of the oven whenever they want. And thus became Daisy's Bake-at-Home Buttermilk Biscuits.
That's awesome. And those are available through the store or through the shop?
Well, that's how we started. And it took ages to figure out, like, how are we going to backpack these? How are we going to, what's the labels? It was such a journey. And it really, because I didn't even know what CPG stood for.
I have runaway, actually. That's what the acronym CPG stands for, runaway. Literally.
Runaway fast.
Yes. Runaway. But thank God I didn't know any better. That's
usually how most people do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea. So I have
a restaurant on. Why would you go into the restaurant business? If you knew better, nobody would do it.
No one else would hire me. That's the only thing. Like, why am I an entrepreneur? Who's going to hire me? I don't know. I needed a job.
Otherwise, like the restaurant business as a CPG, man, the worst two industries. Blast. So much fun to be in. But if you knew before you did it, you probably
crazy as a loon. Like if to be in this industry, right? It's painful. Yeah. Yeah.
I like your Canadian metaphor. Crazy as a loon. I'll take it.
Crazy as a loon. Seriously. How long did you have frozen? Like when did you start doing? Hey, you have butter tarts.
Focus on not the webpage. I haven't eaten yet.
Someone's hungry.
I'm starved. I haven't even eaten yet. Like I've had a cup of coffee.
He's got a sandwich on there called Mother Clucker.
Oh, I like that. That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, I'm talking to you. I need to drive down to the cafe is what I need to do.
You're actually making me hungry too.
Seriously. So John, you started selling.
Yeah.
You start selling frozen in the shop, obviously. People are saying, I really love this. Hey, don't worry about it. Here's a bag, take it home. You can do your thing. I mean, don't not come back to the shop because we like you here, but you can do this at home for the days that you don't want to walk down here or whatever you do.
Right. So I'm like, okay, well, obviously, so people like them. And so our biggest thing was post-COVID, we ended up redesigning the cafe. I wanted to scorch earth and go, I want a fresh start. And I teamed up with an amazing designer named Tiffany Pratt. And we ended up doing we never used to do table service. Then we started doing table service. We embraced the daisy as our theme. And if you can see, Phil, on the website, like the images, which are a lot of fun, a lot of vintage stuff. And we just had a great time and relaunched. And more and more people got to know about us through that relaunch, which was super cool. And we're in the basement making biscuits, and suddenly we're out of space. The biscuits are becoming so popular. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need new space. I'm like, all right, and I went to McEwen's. I remember I went to McEwen's. A friend of mine said, go see George at McEwen's. So I went to see George. I brought him some samples. And I was like, okay, I'm going to really have to work this. And I literally handed it. He took a bite and he goes, he goes, these are great. You can have that bunker over there. I was like, are you shitting me right now? And I just, honestly, I just wanted to just jump. I think I might have jumped up and down, actually. I couldn't believe it. McEwen's was such a huge, like, as I respect
Big deal.
but it was a big deal.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. And so they gave us this giant bunker and we got to do a big Daisy branded wrap around it. And they were like one of my first customers. I was so excited. And I love sales. I think that's my jam. I love that. Really talking to people and talking to retailers and helping them. I'm a true believer in the win-win. It's not just about me getting something in their door. I want to bring people to them. So I see it as a real partnership. And and since we started doing that, we're now in over 100 doors across Ontario. It's only been a year and a half.
Really?
We are in Summerhill, McEwen's, Fiesta Farms, and countless fabulous retailers, cheese shops. We just got accepted to Barntique, which is great. And we are launching in Whole Foods in May. Woo!
That's amazing. Congratulations.
So
That rise and fry looks freaking ridiculous.
Now who's distracted?
Well, you know what? Because you both made me hungry because now I had, holy shit, man, that looks awesome.
yay.
Wow, okay.
Your pictures are making me super hungry.
Yeah.
Good. They're
Yeah.
doing their job.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but I'm in East Van. It's not helping.
Oh man. Well, I
I'm
think
just gonna
that
help some
BC
more. Yeah, I'm gonna help some more because I'm gonna go there. I actually sent the website and the pictures to my fam because they're all gonna be home this weekend. So I'm like, family trip, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Dad!" Like, so,
Absolutely.
or grab some Daisy's buttermilk biscuits from your local retailer.
yeah.
Make
No,
some
Yeah, but you're
at
not-
home.
yeah, we could do that too.
You're not out here though, right?
Yeah.
At this point.
Not yet, but I really want to go national
Okay.
soon. So
Oh my god, the grilled cheese looks crazy too.
we slapped some mac and cheese on the grilled cheese as
Wow,
well.
look at that mother clucker is like, oh my, spicy.
What did I tell you, right? Like, literally, like I stopped.
Oh my
on
god, it looks so good.
I know.
We keep it simple. Like that is the thing. Like there's nothing I'm not a fancy person. And when I eat, like I can appreciate it, but I mean, I'm not a chef, but I do like to cook. And I just like keeping it simple but it's gotta be great quality and just fucking delicious. That's the key, right?
You know what? It looks it though. Like again, it's hard to taste a picture, but
Mhm.
like I'm just looking at the Due South and the Lazy Mac. What I like about what you do, like for 2 cents worth of nothing,
Mhm.
is I think because Phil and I both like to cook as well. Like why we love cooking. I'm not a chef by any stretch of the imagination, but I like putting stuff together. You know, my family background is Italian and and Russian. The Italian side's great because it's not about 50,000 ingredients. It's very simple. Keep it, just dumb it down so the food pops. He's like that. Like your ingredient, it doesn't look complicated. An Asiago mac and cheese is not rocket science per se, but if you nail it, it's so nice because there's not a lot of shit going on. It's just tight. Your food, I mean, if the pictures are close to what it tastes like, you're off the charts because it looks.
They are. I can tell you the biscuits. Like so,
it looks fabulous.
Like, so here's.
I'm so hungry right now. It hurts.
So here's what drew me, Kenny. Like so, Donna and her team got nominated, won an award, and then you kind of look at and then off to the side there was like this innocuous plate of biscuits just sitting there, right? Like they hadn't really done anything with them. They didn't have because I think you had a jam there too, and they didn't pair it with the jam. It was just kind of like dinner rolls, when they kind of like chuck them on the table. And so I kind of wandered over and it was like, okay, so, and I remember asking one of the servers, like, hey, are these the daisies? And she's like, yeah, these are the ones. They're amazing. And I'm like, okay, great. Thanks for leaving them in the corner. And then proceeded to so think they've been sitting out for a little bit, and I still have one, and they were still amazing, right? So I can't even imagine what they're like when they come out of the oven, or if we get to the cafe. So
We're
Yeah.
definitely going to do the cafe next visit because the food looks spectacular. And I love breakfasty type things. And honestly, like, I don't care how healthy this planet gets. We cannot go away from fried food.
No.
We cannot.
No. You got to
Period.
treat yourself.
So that fried chicken, man, with a buttermilk biscuit.
Well, that's a naturally raised piece of chicken thigh there. You got no hormones. That's a nice happy chicken you got there as well. So buttermilk brined, gonna be good.
My gosh, oh my god. Okay, wait. So before we get all like, because this is gonna haunt me all day now. So you're in like about 100 retail outlets.
Yeah.
And then, so where do you want to go? So you want to be able to go national with this thing and be able to go kind of retailers cross nationally.
Yeah. So every year I do a vision board, and I do, like, Sheila Cummins has this great, I am in a goal group, and I use this like productive journal. And at the beginning of each year, I do a goal group, and I do a vision board. This map, my vision board this year. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like, it's me in a bath of money. And there's a diamond for like brilliant. My word for the year is brilliant. The daisy truck there is like, because we're going places. Daisies is going places. So it's super symbolic, and it really helps me hone my focus. So this year, I've become like, I created two companies. So the restaurant is one company, and then I've opened Lazy Daisy Foods, because I really see Lazy Daisy Foods being a from our cafe to your kitchen table food company. So not only will we be doing buttermilk biscuits, but I want to start doing buttermilk pancakes. I want to start doing those. We've got homemade cookies. We've got, like, there's so many different things we can segue into, right? So I want to build on the buttermilk biscuits and get national, but then grow the brand from there as well to become like a major, hopefully, player in the food space. We'll see. That's kind of the vision.
Retail, or do you want food service, or like?
So this year, I really want to hit up food service. Like, not enough. Yeah, like food service to me is so like
no packaging, no bills, no listing fees, no co-op, none of the retail bullshit. And then put 50 in a bag. Who gives a shit? Like that's what they let them worry about it.
Well, that's yeah. So I'm working with, we have a couple of accelerators that I'm working with right now. Pero, which is for women entrepreneurs. I'm in an accelerator program called Pero Elevate. And then I'm with Boundless Accelerator, which is really helping me hone and get, because I'm like, my background is English language and literature. I would have done it at a restaurant. I don't know the CPG world. So they're helping me figure out the steps to get there. Like, okay, if this is the big vision, how do you get there, right? So it's imperative to talk to the people who know what's what.
No, totally.
Wow.
Just make sure you leave a lot of money to the side, because retail is retail. Like it just
there's a lot of crap in retail.
It just sucks money.
Yeah.
That's the big concern about getting into like the big grocery players. Like, do I even really want to go there? Because why? It seems like everyone I talk to is like had a bit of heartache and wallet ache doing that.
Because you're in a hard set on top of it. You already have a complication. Your logistics are the shits. Cold chain is not easy, right? You and the costs of cold chain are much, much higher than when you ship ambient, right? So it's a whole different world. And you got to remember, like in cold, like when you know what your freezer's like. It's got 4 walls and a roof. I mean, you can't go past that.
Yeah.
I can't put you on the floor. You know, I can't put you at the checkouts. Like you're confined to a very finite world, right? That's what the complications of frozen. And that's why, like him and I would say, like, I love retail, been retail all my life, but anytime I don't have to be in retail, I'm okay too. Like I'd rather ship 50 in a bag to a cafe, you know, as long as they pay, because
I'm with you.
A world, and just go on, man. Whatever.
I'm so with you on that. And think about it. Like, look at the Red Lobster phenomena. I used to work there as well, right? I used to run into the kitchen and like just shove those biscuits in my face, like all day, air day, right? Like, so people love biscuits with their dinners. Like with my kids, I'm serving on the side with a spag bowl. We can put it on top of a chicken pot pie. There's so many ways that you can serve a biscuit. It's not just, so I want to ideate like different ideas and go to different people and go chefs and say, hey chef, look at this. This is how you can up level your menu, like elevate this dish by offering, we have roasted garlic as gago.
And you don't need a baker on site. You just have to warm them. I mean, I'm not telling you to go hire staff. I'm not telling you that you need a baker. I'm not telling you need nothing. Just warm.
Totally. Save on labor costs because they're quite labor intensive, right? So you can save money and offer something.
And you can sell at a premium. It's better than selling toast. What do you get for toast? $3? But a biscuit you might get $5.
Yeah.
And the cost is the cost. It's not going to be much different. So really, why not take the ring?
Totally. And people will come back and go, "Oh, remember those biscuits?"
Yeah, nobody comes back and says, that brown toast, like it was like off the charts.
That slice of sourdough was amazing.
Well, I mean, that could be different. Like if you go to Livia, like down the street in East Van, Livia's off the chart.
Yeah,
but again, for the most part, you don't go out and say,
"My
God, we had the best toast today." Yeah. Like it was crazy. The toast was awesome.
But I think for restaurants, it's something that they've gotta, because little restaurants are hard set on like we've got to make everything right. Like it's got to be, and you kind of go, guys, like even restaurants, you got a handful of specialties that you're really good at that you should be doing, and then what are you doing fussing around with biscuits, right? Like you're not someone who can do it, who actually knows how to do this, and then isn't someone churning this out of like this great, ginormous factory. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're putting together like wickedly good biscuits, right? So it should be something
that's why I like it too. I think, and again, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want, obviously, because it's your world. Yeah. You don't even have to pop out of the GTA at that point. Keep it tight, keep it close to home, make a ton of money, but enjoy it, and have your stuff in other restaurants. Because to Phil's point, I'd rather you spend more time in the restaurant mastering how to not fuck up an egg, which seems to be complicated these days, and instead of worrying about baking a biscuit that you can already buy.
That you can buy an amazing.
Why waste the time? Yeah. Baking is not easy. I mean, it's so structured. That's why I like cooking better than baking. Baking is, you got to actually follow rules. Like you can't fiddle hard around.
You can read instructions, Kenny, and follow it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not.
Neither of us are very good at. So
that's why I don't bake much anymore. I don't want to sit there and have to do exact. And I'm not interested. I'd rather have your stuff too. You know why? It's no different than buying fries periodically, which I don't normally do, but once in a while it's easy. But I love biscuits. Like with everything. I mean, why not? Crumble them. Put them on top of the soup.
They're on top of the mac and cheese.
Whatever.
Croutons on a Caesar salad.
Absolutely. Like seriously.
I have, like, honestly, like pot pie was the other thing that I was thinking about, right? Because like pot pie, like to be able to make it like a chicken pot pie or something like that. And then I was thinking about having your biscuits and then be able to put them on top.
Absolutely. Like I've had I'm so hungry right now. You guys, you don't even know. Like I'm thinking like a stew, like putting a stew on top. So you get it softens, it gets gooey, but still crunchy parts.
Totally. We had we was working with an influencer called Rachel Berman, and she's an excellent chef, and she's just a fantastic person. And what she did is she defrosted the dough, rolled it out, and made biscuit pizza pockets.
Why not?
Right? Insane. Like just using the dough to that. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, so buttery, so good.
I thought of that.
Yeah.
Buy them frozen. I can shape them into different sizes.
You know what? You can make this little sausage rolls, like
barbecue pork,
nice Italian sausage.
Some in that, like some barbecue pork. All of a sudden, like
a daisy char suey bun. Like
yeah.
Oh yeah,
guys,
we're onto something. Join me in my quest for Biscuit World Takeover.
Well, the problem is because when you hit the two of us, because we've been doing this for way too long.
Yeah.
all I hear sometimes when I hear frozen in retail, I just start to cringe. I love it. Great set, but I start to cringe. Something, oh, Jesus Christ, you got complication on complication. But then I'm thinking, like, if this lends really well to food service and I don't have to go too far from home, I'm really liking the ease of this one.
No,
And dude, all you have to do is slap those pucks on a tray, 30 minutes at 350, or you pop them in your air fryer for 20 minutes. It's like very, very easy. So for food, it's not rocket. So also people are wanting them fully baked too. So we're getting ready to do some fully baked and
just do a straight warm up.
Warm them up.
Think about for restaurants. It's hard. You know what a restaurant's like. It's brutal to get people. Really, really, really tough to get humans to work in restaurants. It's really tough. It's a tough industry on the best day. The margins are tough. If you can get something that cuts down labor, and then has my labor actually selling more, servicing the tables, like doing that part, I'm much better off there than having 20 people in the kitchen, costing a fortune and not really doing
your food service. Though, well. It could also just be like if you get restaurants across the texture of the biscuit, like all these things that we were talking about, right? Like these kind of like different ways to roll out the dough and do different things with it. Your food service also changes too, because you can sell the biscuits, or you could say to them, listen, I'll sell you the biscuits, but not rolled out. Like I can sell you the dough pre-made, and all of a sudden, do you know what I mean? Like, so all of a sudden you start to think like restaurants can also think about this a little bit different, right? Like, so now you're selling tonnage, right?
I'm like, my face is like, can you see the excitement on my face, guys? We're so like brainstorming shit right now. I love it. This is what I love when entrepreneurs get together and we're just like let's get all these ideas. I love that. Oh my God.
That's the shit that we like to do, right?
No, you can skip the step of like the pucks, right? Fine. If you want pucks, I got pucks. But all of a sudden, if I get your brain across what you could do with the dough, right? So now you're into places where you can go, you can screw around with and do all sorts of things. Like if you do tassi or any of those kind of like, or jerk chicken or any of those things, you want to make yourself like a weird, almost like a pizza pocket, but with some legit stuff in it, like a cafe.
Holy shit, but I could also do a pizza pocket myself, frozen.
That's right. You 100% could. Like in one of those ways, right? But all of a sudden you start to go like, oh my gosh, this is really malleable. We can do all sorts of things with it, right? Like,
see, I can see my dad. My dad doesn't like cheese, right? For an Italian dad, we don't understand that. But anyway, he doesn't do cheese. But I could see him taking a basic one. Although my mom's tough because my mom bakes. Like my mom bakes bread every day, kind of still. Right. But anyway, I could see it cooking it, cutting it up into 12. I would throw it into a pea soup, a bean soup, a minestrone, like any soup that's got some density. And then to have that, and then it gets soft and mushy, but it stays crunchy on the parts that don't go like into the soup. Like seriously, I mean, it's a biscuit, man. You can do fucking anything with it. Like there's so many cool angles you could do.
Yeah.
I
just need guys, like, again, this is where we start getting into cloning technology, like the time
more than two hands, no?
and let's not forget about money.
The money's always present, which is why the retail side always freaks me out. Your logistics are going to be nightmarish once you start traveling. A pallet to come across the country frozen is going to be $700-800. That's just to move the pallet. That's not.
So what you need though is a base what you need is a partner in Vancouver who's going to replicate what we're doing in Ontario, right? So you scale with another.
That's your cloning angle. Your cloning angles and restaurants do this all the time and for a million years. That's how franchises came to be. Because what people realize, you can't clone people clearly, or not yet anyway. Clearly. So what you do is you write really solid SOPs. And what you tell people is you can't deviate from the SOP. This is how we do it. If you don't like it, get your own business.
Right.
But just so you know, you sign enough NDAs, you can't use this business. So do whatever you want. But that's how you have to do it. You can't clone you, but definitely what's between your ears needs to hit paper, old school. And that's how you do it, right? So that you say, follow the book. Don't deviate.
Yeah. It's the SOP, right? Like nailing that. You gotta nail it.
Otherwise, you will never be able to do anything because the only person who can do it is you, and that's not scalable. Like you're not scalable.
Right. Have
What's
you read
between your ears is
Built to Sell?
no.
So
Yeah.
that's all about. Have you read that, Phil?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah. And he talks a lot about like the SOP, which I just learned. Standard
It's critical.
operating procedure. Yeah, you got to have it.
Think about it. Why can't you? The days you're not allowed to be sick when you own the restaurant is typically not because you're the most valuable person per se in the building. It's you haven't told anybody else how to do what you do. Which at that point you're invaluable because I'm stuck if I don't have you because you haven't shared anything. You haven't written it down. If you leave, nobody knows what the hell you do because you've told me nothing.
Yeah.
You just assume that we all know and it doesn't. And then we get angry when people don't do it. Well, I can do it better. And you're thinking, well, yeah, you can because you haven't told anybody how to do it. Like, how do you think people learn? They need to know. They need instructions.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing when you got to treat people like they are, like when it comes to building instructions, imagine the reader is like 10 years old.
Dumb it down.
Teaching them how to do it step by step.
Yep. I take the flour out. I put the flour on the counter so that they don't put it on the floor or they don't put it, I don't know, on a table and in the rest. I mean, it sounds so stupid, but that's the stuff though. But once you do that, Dawn, it becomes much easier for you to do other things because you've taken menial off your sort of plate and given it to others to, and that's good for them too, because now you've got employees who actually know shit. So you can take a holiday. You can go watch the kids dance or skate or kick the ball or whatever the kids do.
Or do
because
nothing.
who's capable.
Or go to Costa Rica. Choose that.
Whatever. Whatever turns your crank, you go do.
Yeah. So.
Wow. And then you're at the Apple Market, which is down the street from me.
Oh, okay, good. So yeah, go check that out. There's quite a few different places we're at. And we had some really good news the other week, which I'm really excited about. Do you guys know that magazine Chatelaine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard of them maybe.
Yeah, you know, this little Canadian.
I know we're boys, but we've heard of them.
Of course,
we're also our age works for Chatelaine.
Yeah. So basically they're starting they always have these beauty awards and they're very well known and well regarded, and they said we're totally into food as well, let's start the pantry awards. So we sent in some biscuits in the frozen breakfast category, and we just got notified last week that we won in our category.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
congratulations.
So, thank you. So we're going to be in the next issue in March.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. Look at you.
And they said that apparently that we beat out some big names, like big brands, like Farm Boy had a submission. Like there's quite a few different submissions that we managed to beat. Which doesn't surprise me because guys, if you let's think about the frozen breakfast category. What are you finding when you go into a freezer? What are you looking at?
Frozen breakfast?
Yeah, like you think about that.
Sausage rounds, you might get some. I think
waffles, hash browns,
frozen biscuit out there, but like not really, right? And
waffles and hash browns, the only things that come to my head. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's time. Like, and also, what kind of brands are you looking at? Right? Are they the kind of brands that you want to tuck into every day?
Nope. It's also brands it's also brands I'm not sharing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting, if I buy waffles from my local superstore, we are not sharing this with friends. Him, when he stays over my place, I don't care. Yeah. But otherwise, nobody's seen those except me.
I didn't know you were so protective of the waffles.
Well, I'll share them with, because you know why? Because what are you going to tell people?
Them, but I've never name brand. Advantage he was so protective. Now, next time I come over.
Because it's embarrassing. They don't taste good, actually. The only thing that tastes good about them is the syrup.
Exactly. And if you think like even fries, it's not hard to make French fries. So why would you buy them? Well, you buy them because it's ultra convenient. And there's nights where, I'm shopping. I'm thinking, I don't feel like cutting a potato. I'll just buy some, throw them in the microwave. We all like it. It's a treat. And then we're done.
So here's the thing, right? Let's feed people like us who want something that doesn't taste like cardboard, is at a great, like a decent price
Yeah.
point. That we are not afraid or embarrassed to serve our friends.
Right. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to make
Right.
biscuit. I really don't. I have no
No.
desire. I'll eat them all day, every day, but I ain't doing it.
Yeah. And some people have gone, Dawn, I'll serve them. And I'll just say, yeah, I made them. I'm like, yeah, you just need to throw some flour on your face.
It's like, who knows? Just leave a little mess on the countertop. Oh yeah, I was made biscuits before. I forgot to clean up.
It takes me, I will make them because I love biscuits. Like there's two things, right? Fried chicken and biscuits, and I will go anywhere to get both, right?
Absolutely.
And so I go like, I want both, and I'll make biscuits at home, but it takes me 3 batches before I get it right.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because it does take, all those things you got to do to like keep it cold and like all those things that I don't really. I'm sorry.
There's days you bake them and days you shit.
I'm really serious.
Let Daisy do it.
The textures, and now I'm just gonna go to Apple Market down the street and go get some. And then this weekend, if I can talk the family into it, we're gonna come raid the cafe. So,
amazing! There is a little wait at the weekend, though, Phil.
Okay, that's okay. We wait for food.
Phil, let's spread the days out. Let's go weekdays. Let's spread the business out a little bit, please. We don't all have
family,
to
right? Like
day.
Rachel's coming home from uni on the weekend, so if I go without her, because she saw the mac and cheese on your site already.
Yeah,
right.
She's like mac and cheese. I'm in, but now I gotta wait for the weekend. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm loving all the ideas and the brainstorming, guys, and all your inputs for Daisy's growing.
We like food.
And I'm doing my first pitch at the end of the month.
Okay.
There's a pitch and dine event with Canadian Women in Food.
Okay.
Which is a great a group of women who are in the CPG. And so it's going to be sort of a mini Dragon's Den. And there's 6 of us doing a pitch. And I've never pitched before. We'll see. So wish me luck. See how it goes.
You've got a lot of folks around you, but if you ever need anything or you want to throw the pitch at us or whatever, just let us know.
I was a buyer for a lot of years in retail, right? I bought.
I appreciate that. That would come in so handy, guys. Like, honestly, I respect your opinion and your insights. And like I said, in some ways it's good I don't know what I'm doing, but in other ways it's I need support. It means there's less fear. There's less fear of doing something wrong. But I think that talking to people is absolutely essential. Like I said, talking to Sammy and the bagels.
Yeah.
You got to keep talking and building relationships.
Yeah. Well, we're around. If you need anything, you can always bug us. I mean, we're not hard to find.
And we're huge on that. So we're huge on connecting. Like we're kind of those guys. So if you show up at our doorstep and we kind of go, we're not the right people, here's like 4 people you need to call. Right. So we're kind of like that because we love this. We love like watching you guys grow and do what you do. And then we like self-discovery is an amazing thing, but there are some blind spots you kind of like, you would never know it's there. So we kind of don't want you to impale yourself on like a sharp corner. Do you know what I mean? Like if we can just warn you and go, listen, you should stay away from that blind spot, right? Like at least it's something that
I also do not wish to be impaled.
Yeah, right. Like it's but we have run into brands where you're going, don't go, oh, okay, you went far. Oh shit. Like
yeah.
Whatever you want to do, it's your business. Okay, I mean, we just look at it, I would have done it differently.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell we have opinions on it. I've been in retail forever. I bought retail forever. He was a buyer for a while. So I mean, it's not like we haven't done retail, but I mean, I think, for example, like I think this lends really well to food service for a lot of reasons. And I like the ease. It's a little easier. Payments might
any ideas of who I should hit up, let me know.
Thinking already.
I'm always thinking. I got to eat because I actually have to go to work today. You know, I know it's noon for you too, but I'm coming on work.
You need some food.
Yeah.
Oh well. Thank you so much, guys. This has been.
Oh my God, our pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
We are so excited for you. Listen, when you're you know, that little magazine you're talking about at the end.
Yeah.
Like those guys, if when it comes out, ping us back and we'll have you on. We have a YouTube channel that we do shorts on. And so like a little 15-minute thing that we could do just to go, hey, listen, we're out. You should go, you know, if you can find this magazine wherever you are, like, you know, go buy it because we're in it. And you
love it. Love it. Oh God, guys, that is amazing. What you do is so supportive for us entrepreneurs and just absolutely incredible. And I think it was super what's the word when it's meant to be? I met you at the Ontario Made Awards, and I really
It's
was like
serendipitous.
so thrilled, and I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
We love it.
Our
We love
pleasure.
it. Thanks for coming
Our
on.
pleasure.
Cheers, and you guys take care, and definitely let's do brunch when you come to Toronto.
100%. All
Definitely.
over it.
It'll be
All right.
All over it.
Okay. Thanks, Don.
Thanks, Don. I
guys.
appreciate it.
Have a
Have
great day.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
We'll stick around.
She's cool. See, I told you she's cool. She's cool.
I really am. I'm so hungry right now. And you know what? Because then I had to go through. I'm thinking, I got no good bread or bread base in the house right now.
Listen, I tried to eat all your bad bread. I did my best.
I know you did your best.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody.